Happy Saturday! My name is Chui. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are gonna have an update on the Bitcoin price, and I'll talk about some DeFi project in the cryptocurrency space today. And also we're also gonna update some stock, some index number for S&P 500, Nasdaq, and so on. So we have a lot of things to talk about, and let's get started. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the price of Bitcoin. Let's start with 4 hour, because that's where we end up last time. So these red lines are the ones I drew in last video, and I haven't touched them yet. So take a look at the price action of Bitcoin. They basically follow this pattern, both in the price and the RSI. One thing I want to talk about is that this is a usual movement when the RSI is pretty oversold. First we have a big dump, and then we have a bounce, and then we make a lower low. That's how the traders are scaring off the weak hands. So this is why you got this bounce and then dump like this. So last time I said that the RSI will have a retest of the 20 level. So it came pretty close. It's like it goes down to about 25 or something. So yeah, I kind of wish it could go down a little bit more, but I guess it's possible that our traders could be pushing the price a little bit up from here, and then they can keep dumping or pushing higher. I cannot tell at the moment, but yeah. All right, so let's move this line and see if we can tell what's gonna happen next. So in the 4 hour, one of the important thing is the BitMax index. So right now we can see that ever since this big dump, we got these negative bars, and here the negative bars only have a small numbers like 0.072. So basically there's no trend right now, but as long as these numbers are negative, I don't expect another dump unless it goes to positive number, and then the dump may continue. That's because in the trading world, the bulls needs momentum and the bears also needs momentum. So where are these momentums come from? You take a look at if it's negative or positive for these numbers. If it's negative, the bulls will have the momentum. If it's positive, the bears will have the momentum. At the moment, the bulls looks like have a little bit of upper hand, so it's possible that the price of Bitcoin can go up a little bit more. Also take a look at these wicks. We got this downside wicks, 1, 2, 3. These are all buying powers, buying pressure from the downside. This is because people are buying it. So it's possible this buying pressure can push the price of Bitcoin a little bit higher. How high it will be, I don't know at the moment. We'll have to look and see. And then let's come to the 1 day. At the 1 day chart, this level 10,500 is the major resistance before. We have had it for quite some time, from September 2019 to now, so it's pretty long time. This is why we got this support here. We penetrated a little bit and we are still struggling, but we are still in the supporting zone. If I were to draw the supporting zone, it would be something around from here, the top, and then probably to here, until 10,000 is still in the supporting zone. And let's take a look at what happens if Bitcoin plunge down to close the CME gap. So CME gap, this is CME picture. This gap is here. We have a long wick from the CME figure. So we came pretty close, but we didn't close the gap and it bounced off. One interesting thing I want to mention that the price of Bitcoin during the weekend when CME is closed, this price action pretty much defines the range that Bitcoin price will move during the weekend. The reason I say this is because if the price of Bitcoin move out of this region, say from here 9,900 to 10,800, if Bitcoin price move out of this region and keep going on Monday, then we will create new gaps in the CME chart. For example, if we goes higher than 10,800 to say we goes to the price of 11,000, and then we will have a new gap from here to here. So this will be a new gap on Monday. And if it goes below 9,900, say we goes to 9,500, and in Monday we will have a new gap from here to here. So normally the people who is moving the market don't want to do that. So you don't want to create a gap easily on the chart, because that will create a lot of chaos. So this gap is an exception. I think this gap was created that is for the potential future dump when people making this gap. So because of this gap, people will think that, oh, if the price will come down someday to fill it. So I think this is a masterpiece from the bears. We push it price, we create a gap and then push price up, and then starting now they can go down and fill this gap. So that's an interesting play from the bears. Now, what happens if Bitcoin fails down here and fill that gap? In my opinion, it will create, I would bet that the price will go down a lot more than the gap price. Let's take a look at the weekly. The reason I say that is that Bitcoin has moving out of this downtrend. We break out, and then we come down here and retest this line. One of the normal move for this kind of a breakout is that people will be exciting when they break out here, so a lot of people will buy it. But if you make people so exciting that too many people is buying, just like what happened now. So to shake out the weekends, the only play to one of the good play, not the only play, to shake out this weekends is to make the price even lower. For example, we can break this line and then go back here. So that's a good play because a lot of people will lose hope if the price goes down from 10,000 down to like 6,000 or something. It is ideal that we don't make another low lower than this one, because that would be very troubling for Bitcoin. So I think if the Bitcoin price does come down to this level, it will go down a lot more than just 8,000 or 7,000. There's a possibility that we could get 6,000. But don't be afraid. Bitcoin is not going anywhere. With a lot of cash is flowing into the everything, like Bitcoin, gold, silver, stock. We are just printing too much money right now. So be used to the volatility in the cryptocurrency space. When I first got in, I got in like about here. So I look at the price go up to 20,000 and then go down to 3,000. That was a very interesting period of my life. And then I see it go up here and then go down here. Wow. Right now the price moved up from here, and if it moved down here, I wouldn't even flip my eyes. It's just normal to me. So if you cannot handle that, cryptocurrency is probably not your, not your thing. So let it go out before, get a heart attack or something. So, all right, let's see if I missed something for the Bitcoin. Oops. Yeah, for this line, we bounce a little bit from this support. As I said before, the most bullish thing is for it to go down to the 20 level, and let's see if that will happen. And also, we still have a negative BitMax index funding bar. This is really good. I like it because that means people are afraid. Lots of people is panic selling right now. Well, I don't recommend you to do that because this is where bulls is looking at right now. Okay. All right. Let's see. I hope this will go a little bit longer time for the negative bars. Let's get like 10 days or 2 weeks negative bars. That would be the happiest days of my life. Also, that will mean Bitcoin price will keep going down. So don't worry. That is what we need right now. We need to push the weekend out of the market. Okay, so now let's take a look at some other price. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. So in the last video, I mentioned that on the weekly, we have a bearish divergence. So when something have a bearish divergence, I don't usually, buying it, even if it have a big drop. So we do have a big drop. This drop is like about, let's see, from the top to the wick, it's about 6%. Not a very huge dump. One interesting thing is that actually let me take a look at the Nasdaq. Yeah, Nasdaq is probably have the same percentage dump just like S&P 500. But one interesting thing I want to mention is the fear and greed index. It came pretty high to about 77 and 78 at the extreme greed. And then just within one day, because of that dump, the greed in with the fear and greed index dropped from 77 to around 58 and 59. That is a huge drop. That means there are a good percentage of people is afraid. They are still dwelling in the fear in March. In March, we have like about 30 to 40% drop in the stock market. So people were really afraid at that time. So I bet there is still about 30 to 40% of people is still having those fears in their mind. This is really good. This is really good for the stock market, because in this environment, that's what's gonna propel the price to go higher. The psychological is something like this. If people are very bullish for the market, a lot of people will be buying. So a lot of money is piling up for the longing side. So the easiest way to make money is to short market. This is why if you have 90% of people is greedy, it's really easy to create a huge crash from the top, just like what happened in March. But right now you have 40% people are afraid. So that means you don't get a lot of money in the downside, and you don't have a lot of money in the upside either. So go either way, you just don't, not easy to make money. So this is why it's possible that the stock market will have, I think, it will not crash. We will probably have a pretty long time of consolidation. I think this is really good for the stock market, for it to go higher. You don't want it just keep going up like this. We need a consolidation period, preferably the longer the better. Let me see. So that is the update for the stock market. By the way, let's take a look at those interesting stocks like Tesla. So Tesla has the same price bearish divergence just like in the Nasdaq. Okay, so I won't buy into Tesla because of this bearish divergence. So even if the price can go higher in the future, there is still a possibility to crash for Tesla, because the bearish divergence on the weekly, if it's in the daily, well, the crash might be not as small, like 20%, 30%, that's normal. But bearish divergence in weekly, you don't want to play it. At least I don't want to play it, okay? Because the crash could be, out of your mind or something. So yeah, I won't buy into Tesla or Apple or Google. Basically, all these big tech companies all have this bearish divergence right now. So yeah, I won't buy into this at the moment. Yeah, that's the update for the stock. Let's take a look at gold and silver. For gold and silver, one interesting thing is they are still pretty strong at the moment. We still didn't make a lower low than this one, so they're holding pretty strong. Both gold and silver didn't make a lower low. That means there is a possibility that gold and silver can go up from here, because the last dump on Thursday and Friday, it was pretty big dump for Bitcoin and stock price, but gold and silver also have a small dump, but it looks like they will be the first one to bounce, I think, unless they keep going down from here and make a lower low. That would be a different picture. But right now at the moment, I think gold and silver has a chance to rally. We'll see what happens next. For the daily RSI, looks like if gold break out from here, it might have a small rally. Then there's something I would like it to happen is that it comes up from here and then go down and test this line, but I don't know if that will happen. Or it could go break out from this line and then go up here and then make a lower high for the RSI. And then if that happens, I think the price will go higher than this high. So that will create a bearish divergence, and that will be the time we sell it. But for now, it looks like there is a chance that it will break out in the short term. So let's wait and see. Now, yeah, that's the updates for all the prices. Now let's take a look at some DeFi projects. So in my first video, I talked about some about 6% annual percentage yield from the BlockFi, and also about 12 to 30% annual percentage yield from KuCoin, the crypto lending service. Now, the next one I want to talk about is the Curve Finance. For Curve Finance, it has several services. If you have stablecoin, like I mentioned last time, stablecoin is backed by the dollar value. So one stablecoin is approximately equals to $1. So you don't need to worry the price of stablecoin to fluctuate. It will just fluctuate around $1. So if you have stablecoin, you can deposit in the Curve Vault. So Curve Vault, say for example the Y Vault is a bucket of stable coins. So if you deposit here, you can get like about, right now is about 43% per year. If you have a Bitcoin, you can deposit it as a RMBTC. So if you deposit here, you can get like about 68% per year for annual percentage yield. and or SBTC, you can get like about 47% annual percentage yield. And let me see. And I think there's a PAX. PAX, yeah, it's also a stable coin. You deposit here, you can get like about 62% annual percentage yield. That is much higher than the crypto lending service and BlockFi. However, the risk for Curve is that the yield you're getting is based on the Curve native token CRV. So if the CRV price drop a lot, this annual percentage yield percentage could be also going lower. So it fluctuates along with the price of a CRV. And also, the risk for Curve is that it's not backed by the FDIC, and I don't think it has insurance. So if you lost something during the process, they will not responsible. So you will just suffer loss. But that's pretty rare, I think, unless there is some operational error that we make. Aside from that, that's a pretty good annual percentage yield. But of course, it's suited for people who likes to take high risk. I don't recommend you to put your life saving into this, just the money that you can lose, you know, that you have something on the side, you don't care you lose it or not, and then you can take this risk and get this high annual percentage yield. Similarly, we have YF value. This is a new crypto yield farm website. In here, you can get even higher annual percentage yield, like 600%, 300%, 400%. Look at these crazy numbers. That is really high yield. And they have passed the security audit by the community. But the same thing is that this annual percentage yield pretty much are bind with their native token YFV. So if the price of YFV just keep crashing, and then this annual percentage yield will also, you know, dump. And also they are also not backed by FDIC and no insurance. So if you have money that you are willing to take a high risk, I think this is a good one to go. Also, there is a new, even newer one that is called Sushi. So Sushi Swap. Let's see if we can find it. Sushi Swap. .org, I think. Yeah. So right now they have a really high annual percentage yield at the moment. It might go down, but at the moment is pretty high. See, you have a 1000% annual percentage yield and 800%, 700%. That is pretty crazy. I think several days ago it was like 2000%. So all these yields are also based on their native token, sushi coin. So, but because of the recent dump from Bitcoin, a sushi coin also have a big dump. This is why this annual percentage yield is reducing. So it might even go lower, but people, whoever go into these pools, they will have a migration from Uniswap to their own Sushi Swap, and people who is in these pools, they will get become the pool liquidity provider. I will talk about that later for the liquidity pools, but they will get the reward for that too after the migration. Now, the next one is Y-Yearn. So Y-Yearn is also a pretty good one if you have stable coins or Ether or DAI stablecoin, USDC, USDT. You can get about 80%, 87%, 50% annual percentage yield. That's pretty good too. And I think from my observation, this pool's annual percentage yield is, I think it's pretty stable. I've been using it for about a month, and it's still around this percent. So yeah, that's from Y-Yearn. Now let's talk about liquidity pools. So we have a Uniswap and Balancer, and probably in the future, in the short term, we have SushiSwap. So all these websites, anyone can go up here and then swap their tokens. So if you have money to invest, one way is to provide liquidity for these liquidity pools in the Balancer or Uniswap or SushiSwap. So basically what you do is that, say you have a Bitcoin or you have a stable coin, you can convert it into two different coins and then provide liquidity. It's always at least a pair. You can have more coins. You can, for example, you say if you have a Maker and you have Ether, then you can put it into this pool, provide liquidity for this pool. So aside from getting when people are in there and swapping their coins, they will have you submit a transaction fee, and you can get a portion of that transaction fee if you are a liquidity provider. And also, every week, Balancer will distribute the native token BAL for the liquidity provider, so that you can have more reward in the liquidity pool. For Uniswap, all you get is the transaction fees as your reward, because Uniswap doesn't have the native token. Yeah, so the annual percentage yield for each pool is different. You can come to this website, the Predictions.exchange, to take a look at what you might be getting. Say, for example, if you have a Bitcoin, so I'll search Bitcoin, WBTC. So this is the liquidity pool I'm currently in. So we have 40% of WBTC and 20% of RMBTC, then 45% Ether. So the annual percentage yield is about 75%, which is pretty good. And I think it's also pretty, I think it's a little bit more stable than the previous ones, because the annual percentage yield from the other ones in SushiSwap can drop from 2,000 to 100 or something, even though 100 is still pretty alluring for many people. Yeah, so you can use Zapper, this one, to search for the good ROI. That's return of investment for 1 month. So 1 month for this one, you can get like 300%. So that is Even though there's liquidity pools, you don't have insurance, you don't have FDIC, but a lot of people are willing to take this risk because in a month you get 300% back, right? So there will be a lot of people who is they're willing to just take this risk and invest. So again, I don't recommend you to put your life saving in this. If you have money on the side, then you don't touch it, it's just lying in the bank. And you would like to take the risk, these are the place to go. But once again, I'm not your financial advisor. Don't do what I said. That's just my opinion. I have some money on the side. I am willing to take the risk. If you're not, don't do it. And don't do things just based on what I said. Alright, now let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin again. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I don't think the price in the weekend will crash down to the gap level, because that will create a new gap on the CME chart. Well, that is not good for the bears, I think. So the price will stay stable during the weekend. Alright, that's the update from me, and thank you guys for coming back to the channel. I will give another update maybe on Monday, depending on the price of everything: Bitcoin, stock, silver, gold, everything. So my name is Chui, and this is your trading investing channel, Blockchain Thunder. And happy Saturday wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.